Hey, Jordan Bench here, jordanbench.com. In this video, I just want to share with you my sister's salvation testimony. So I've already shared with you my testimony. It's on my YouTube channel. I will link to it in the description below if you haven't heard already. But I thought it would be beneficial and I thought it would be encouraging and it would lift you up, it would build you up to hear my sister's salvation testimony. So when I got saved, it was about a year later that my sister got saved. So really when I look back on this time, it's like I just see God reaching his hand into my family's life and just begin to radically impact and change my family. And he did it like one by one within the different people within my family. And it's just been amazing to see God work and how he's able to just completely radically change someone. And it's just so awesome because, I mean, for me, like I can look at my life and I know he radically changed me. But like when I look at my sister's life, I look at who she used to be and I look at who she is now. I can clearly see such a difference in her. Like it's a night and day difference in the person that she is. My sister, I'm so proud of who she is now because she is just a strong, powerful, bold witness for Jesus. Like she'll pray for anybody. She'll put herself in like uncomfortable situations, and she does these things because she has such a heart after God and she has a heart after people. She just wants to help people to the best that she can, and she has such an amazing story to tell. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to put her video on this channel so that you could hear her testimony, and hopefully it would just encourage you. Maybe it would remind you of where you were at, what you came out of. But regardless, I just think that mainly I'm just very proud of my sister, of just where she is. So I just want you to hear her testimony. So anyways, thank you for watching, and here's her testimony right now.
Hi everyone, my name is Holly Bandy, and this is my story of how God radically changed my life after living a life of doing different drugs and having reckless behavior. So one of the most monumental, life-changing events to happen to me in my lifetime was when I was a senior in high school. One day in November of 2008, I was getting ready for school and running late as usual. I got in my car and I started driving really fast. The road that my dad lived on at the time was kind of canopied over by woods. The road ran right in the middle of a woods. It was a real windy and turning road as well. Well, I was going ridiculously fast and basically getting ready in my car, messing with the radio, not paying attention to what I was doing, and I start to go off into a ditch. Well, I immediately jerk the wheel over and start fishtailing all over the road. I end up then heading straight for the woods. When I was going into the woods, I automatically thought, okay, this is it. I'm gonna die. And I go up an embankment and right in between, within inches of a telephone pole and a tree. So I go up an embankment, go airborne, and then crash down into a tree. I was then ejected from the windshield. Well, to make a long story short, I was okay. I actually didn't break a single bone. I was very beat up, but I was okay. However, the accident did something to me psychologically. I was having really bad nightmares after it happened. I kept having recurring dreams of the accident, and I would wake up right before I would die in my dreams, and I started obsessing over death. That's all I could think about. It had a pretty traumatic effect on me. I went to a psychiatrist and was later diagnosed with PTSD, acute PTSD. And I really struggled with getting in a car. I kind of had a phobia of other people driving. I didn't trust anybody. And the spiritual impact that this had on me was it kind of made me realize, like, okay, life is short. I need to experience whatever I can here and now on earth. And I didn't really look at it from an eternal standpoint, but a here and now standpoint, as if I need to live it up because life is short and I don't really need to invest into my future because I could die tomorrow. I need to just have fun right now. So I started doing different drugs. I started drinking a lot and just, doing these things while driving, just living really recklessly. And I decided right after I graduated high school to move to Myrtle Beach, which is definitely a big party town. So I started doing even more drugs there. I was smoking weed every day, doing psychedelic drugs, acid, mushrooms, like whippets, salvia, all sorts of things, crazy things. And to make a long story short, I was still doing all these behaviors, but stuff hit the fan and I ended up having to come back home. I got to a really low point and I had to come back home. So I get back home and I'm still partying all the time, just with different people, and I eventually go to this party one night, and this was the second event that was monumental in my life and changed my life forever. I went to a party and was one girl among about 12 guys, the only girl there, and we were all drinking, smoking, and then decided to do mushrooms that night. And that night, I was tripping pretty badly. I was on a bad trip, as they call it, and I just felt this presence of evil surrounding me, like wrapping me up, encapsulating me, and I couldn't shake it. I went to the bathroom at one point and looked in the mirror and saw a demonic figure in front of me. I went downstairs to look for somebody, and there was this guy sitting on the edge of a couch, rocking back and forth and sweating bullets. I go up to him and he looks at me, and when he looks at me, his eyes were completely black, like not just a little dilated, but like black, completely black. So it was a terrifying experience, and I felt like I had opened the door to something evil, like it was in me now. I started actually talking about God. At this point, I didn't know very much about the Bible. I knew a little bit about God, but I didn't know scripture. I didn't know a whole lot about Jesus, but I just started talking about what I did know to some people around me. And in that moment, after ministering, God actually brought me out of the trip, like instantly. I was no longer under the influence of anything. I was completely sober, and I could think clearly, and I was shaken up by it, but God brought a sense of peace to me and a sense of calmness and security that I had not experienced at all that night or up to that point. So a couple days later, I go to a lake that was real close to my dad's house, and I go there by myself and just let it all out to God. I tell him everything, I confess my sins, and I say, okay, I'm ready to stop living like this, and I'm ready to live for you. That night, God spoke to me in my heart also and said, this is not who you are. I have so much more for you than this. And it just resonated with me, and I couldn't shake it, so I decided to get saved. I gave my life to God. I said, I'm all done with that. So I started attending a church in the area, and it was a mega church, very evangelical, and I started seeing people get healed. Like a lot of people get instantaneously healed and visibly healed. Like there was no denying it. So I started to witness this miraculous power from God. And it was this experience that I had been searching for through these drug experiences. I was always looking for the next thrill-seeking experience, but I started to find this through God, through healing people and through changing people's lives and just seeing people delivered of things that they weren't before. I started believing for my own healing and for healing of other people. And I actually got healed of HPV. I was delivered from my addiction to cigarettes. I saw people who had terminal cancer get healed. I saw a girl who had cuts all over her arms get miraculously healed. All the scars vanished. I saw a boy who was deaf in one ear he was able to hear instantaneously through God. So I started just having this amazing experience with God and learning about the Bible and Jesus and speaking in tongues, receiving the gifts of the Spirit. It was an amazing thing. And ever since then, I've realized that nothing that this world can offer even is a little bit comparable to what God has to offer. So let's fast forward to about 7 years to right now. I'm currently married, and I met my husband through that church, and we had decided from dating that we were going to do things God's way. We decided to live celibate and to get married and do things the right way. We honor God with our finances. We tithe 10% of everything that we make to our church. We live within our means and don't take out a bunch of debt for things that we don't have the money for. We watch what we spend, but we give to other people. Whatever we can give, we try to give. So we also have 2 little boys, ages 3 and 1, who I'm able to stay at home and take care of. I'm a full-time mommy. I work on the weekends as well, but it's my life's mission right now to invest as much as I possibly can in them and teach them about Jesus and the ways of God and make them comfortable in our home to flourish, to really tell others about Jesus when they're outside of our home, and to not be afraid to lay hands on the sick, to pray for people out in public, but to just really do the works of Jesus that he has called us to do in this lifetime through the power of the Holy Spirit. A way that I am going to promote stronger families and finances in my life is through becoming a professional counselor. I'm currently in a master's degree program through Liberty University in Lynchburg, Virginia, working to earn my master's degree and then potentially get licensed. And I will be licensed through the church, so I'm able to openly pray with my clients and help them through their spiritual experiences as well. But I want to ultimately just help promote relationships with God and strong marriage relationships, because I believe that the marriage is where everything kind of stems from in a family. If one's marital relationship isn't strong, then the rest of the relationships aren't going to be strong. And if your relationship with God isn't strong, the rest of your relationships aren't going to be strong. That's where true love comes from, is God. So I want to promote in my counseling ways to make healthier coping mechanisms, helping people find ways to communicate with each other in a healthy way, to even fight in a healthy way, to know how to complement each other and how to love and respect one another. Also, as well as raising strong children. We have such a need for that in our society today. Our children can be very confused by the conflicting messages they're hearing from all different sources in the world. So I want to help promote God's way in doing this. So thank you so much for watching. I wish you all the best, and I will talk soon.
Okay, thank you for watching my sister's video. I really greatly appreciate you listening and taking the time to hear her testimony. I hope that it just encouraged you, that it built you up, that it just lets you see how God can just really move in someone's life and how he's just so adamantly there with someone. So if you like this video, if you found value in it, and really just to help, give my sister some love, go ahead and give this video some likes right now. Also, if you have a testimony of yourself, of what you have been through, what you came out of, how Jesus radically changed and transformed your life, go ahead and comment that below. I would love to read your story. I would love to hear what Jesus has done in your life. Also, if you haven't already, subscribed to my channel, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.